In today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make interchangeable 7-segment displays, which will allow you to display the digits between 0 through 9 very simply. There's 3, here's 4, this will be 5, let's get 6 in there, and 7, let's do 8, perfect, and 9. There you go, 0 through 9. Let's get this tutorial started. Alright, so for this build, you're going to need 6 AND gates, you're going to need 5 OR gates, 3 NOT gates, 3 XOR gates, 4 levers, and 7 neon colored lights. They can be any color of your choice. I personally just like to use green for the 7-segment displays. And there should be a text box above this truck showing the quantity of wires that I used. I just don't know at this point how many wires I'm going to end up using, but I will leave a little text box showing. And also, I would pause the video right here if you're still purchasing your items. Just make sure you go across the ferry, go over to Link's Logic and purchase all your items. Just remember, pause the video here, get the items that you need, bring it back to your base, and let's get started. Alright, so this right here is actually the diagram I'm going to be following for this build today. It's not my creation, it was actually built from a YouTuber. I'll link their YouTube down in the description. They weren't actually playing this in Lumber Tycoon. They built this in a logic sim. So I got that from, I built it in this right here logic sim following his real life tutorial on how he actually makes a real life, like, I think it's like 16-bit computer. So I was just following his to learn different parts of real life logic, and I was able to build his 7-segment display using his application that he actually provided. So if you want to follow more of what he's done, look in the description for that YouTuber. But here's the diagram. So if you're able to actually read my sloppy paint job showing each separate wire, you can actually just pause this here and wire it up yourself. But I'll actually be showing you how to build it in-game using this diagram. Alright, let's get this started off. I actually like to place my wires first in the 7-segment display orientation. You can actually build this any way you want. You can build it on a wall, build it on the ceiling, build it on the floor, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be building this whole thing on the floor, so we're not going to be building any blueprints on the wall. But feel free to change it any way you'd like. It's quite simple. You're just going to have to either use more wires to connect it closer to where the circuit outputs. We're going to have 7 outputs. So those 7 wires can connect as far as you need to wherever you are displaying your 7-segment display. The correct orientation for 7 segments, it's in the name, 7 segments. That's why you only need 7 neon wires. Just a tip, when placing neon wires, they actually have a wider hitbox when connecting to other inputs, let's say, like wire-to-wire input. They have a wider detection radius than normal wires, so you actually have to place these with a little bit more room than you're possibly normally used to. Just a tip. So after you get your 7-segment display put down in any orientation that you have it, we'll be able to set up the logic system over here. I got the items unboxed just to make it a little bit quicker for me to place these. So we're going to start off with these 4 AND gates. You're able to place this logic system in any orientation that you want. You can even place it on the wall. You kind of just have to work around where I place these, and maybe you have to rotate it in your mind and think of how you'd place it that way. But for now, just make sure you have enough space down below to place these wires. We are going to have this NAND gate right here, so there's going to be a NOT gate, so I would at least go a few blocks down, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. To make the NAND gate, you just need an AND gate and a NOT gate. This turns it into 2 positive inputs would make a negative output, if that makes sense. And then with no inputs or even just one input, this will be positive. It's kind of just a simple explanation of what a NAND gate is. It's not one that that comes in with the game, so you have to kind of make it yourself. Next, we're going to need an OR gate. So we'll place that one. We'll leave one space in between because actually we don't need that space. Apologies. So we'll put them right next to each other. And then for the AND gates, we'll do one space in between, just so we know they're kind of separated. So we're going to need 4 of those in a row. We'll use that last AND gate here in a little while. Next, let's do this row of OR gates. As you see, wires actually come in between these OR gates and this one right here. It's already spaced out here quite a bit, but right here, let's leave enough space for those wires to go in between. This OR gate and this OR gate almost line up perfectly, so I'll actually put this one. I like to leave at least 2 blocks of space in between. It's a personal preference, though. You can compact this as much as you want. You're just going to be looking at a lot more wires interlooping with each other, causing a little bit of confusion. So we're going to leave that 1 bit of space. And then one more OR gate. This one goes next to the second AND gate, so we'll just go 2 spaces down. Allow those to connect pretty easily. The XOR, it's this pile. That one goes straight behind this OR gate, so we'll leave 2 spaces like usual. Use our last OR gate right next to it. One more XOR gate on this side. This one goes right in between, so kind of leave that wire going that way. Perfect. We actually do have a wire. We're going to set this one over just because we have a wire that comes this way and down. Next, we need another NAND gate. So that would be, let's leave a little bit more space because we have to put that inverter. Perfect. Need a NOT gate behind it. We'll do that one straight into it, just kind of help us. And our last XOR gate. This one can just go straight across from that NOT gate. Fantastic, that's the orientation. If you want to pause it right here, you can work with this same design. You can also try compacting it, bringing them closer together. Might cause confusion in the future, just a heads up, but this thing can be compacted, but this is the simplest design I'm going to be showing today. All right, on to the next step with levers. I'm going to be placing my levers directly in front of here, but let's say you're not going to be placing the levers where I'm going to be. You can also still follow the same tutorial and then add longer wires extending where the levers will go in the future. So if your levers aren't going to go directly here, during the tutorial, just pretend like a lever's here and place that wire connecting to wherever you need it to connect, like let's say there. And then in the future, you'll just connect your lever with another wire, like an extension cord going all the way to your levers and maybe in another room. But for now, I'm actually going to be placing the levers, so I'll show you the orientation. This one will go right here. This next one will go right in front of that NOT gate. This one right there. And then this one on the left side of this XOR gate. So back to this right here. I'll stop the video here, or I'll stop moving for a second, so in case anybody wants to pause the video right here. So let's get started. We're going to start off with this bottom lever right here. We'll place all those wires first. Let's see. So if we follow this orange trail right here, this orange one goes to the beginning of this XOR, and it also goes to this OR right here. When I have a path that doesn't follow the straight line, so it's not one chord, it's 2 separating chords, I like to actually follow the second pathway first. So let's go with the OR at the beginning up here. This one is the output of this OR, so we'll take this. I like to do straight paths. You'll kind of notice that during this tutorial. So we're trying to get there, and it also plugs in here. So this one goes up here, it'll touch there. So what we'll do, instead of going all the way back to the beginning, we're going to stop this one, let's say about right there. and then we'll attach another wire going from here to here, and then another wire going to the beginning. We'll go straight this way. Be something just like that. So you could, this is one way of doing it. Other people might want to save money on wires and such. What you could do is with this second wire right here, going off the pathway, you can actually just overlap it. So let's say this wire was just one wire. You could actually just take it back and only use 2 wires rather than using 3 wires. But it's not as clean. I like it more level to the ground so I can have the wires going other wires. Make it look a little bit better. Ooh, I went a little bit further last time. Oops. Let's get under there. Fantastic. All right, so that right there is orange done. That's the first one. The second lever is even easier than that. There's going to need 2 wires for that one. We need one that goes straight into the NOT gate. If you wanted to be extra lazy, you could actually just put this NOT gate directly coming out of that lever, and then just connect 1 wire going into here. But we're not being lazy for the tutorial. Gotta build expectations, I guess. Let's see, perfect. Awesome. Then the third lever, so that's the second one already done. The third lever, we've got this green line. We got several inputs. So we got this OR gate, this NAND gate, this XOR gate, this OR gate, also connects to this first NAND gate. So this one's a little bit complicated, so I'm going to start off with this NAND gate connecting to this OR gate. So the right side of this NAND gate will connect to the left side of this OR gate. So, oop, I went a little bit far. So we'll go straight like that. Then we'll take the output, not the output, sorry. We'll connect this left side of this OR gate down to a possible input area right here. So we'll take this OR gate, go straight down. Sorry, just making sure I was recording. All right, so that OR gate, we want to go to the third one right here. So what's the best way to make that look good? We're going to come from this XOR and from that OR. So what we'll do is we'll take this one straight down. When hopping over wires, I like to get kind of close, but not too close, where it won't say wire's too short to place or something like that. Going straight down. And 2 outputs are going to go there. So we'll probably take this wire straight up to about here. So I'm going to place my wire just right next to this NOT gate. Perfect. And let's connect this XOR and this OR together. So this XOR. If you wanted to be extra lazy, which I'm actually going to be for this part, because saving wires is always a good idea, you can actually just take this over here. And so technically both these inputs will be connected with this 1 wire. So we only need to connect 1 wire to those, and then it'll affect both outputs. It'll affect both inputs. Words. Let's see, so we'll go this way. Your wires do not have to be placed as well as mine, by the way, if it's slowing you down. Hope I'm not going too fast. Always feel free to pause the video. Let's see, perfect. And this one will go straight down to this lever over here. So boom. I always like to confirm what I did after. So this third one, if we follow that green, it goes left and right. Let's follow the right path. Left XOR and right OR, perfect. Now let's follow this left one. It goes to the left side of this OR, perfect, and the right side of this NAND, perfect. So now we need to go with the 4th pin. 4th pin is super easy. We'll be just looking at a straight line. Again, like I said, with the second lever right here, you can push it forward, put it right here. You can also push this one forward. You do have that issue with this wire needing to go left, but you can always work something out. You can push these levers forward so you don't have to use these small little 1 tile wires. All right, so now I like to start off with this bottom ore right here. I like to go from the bottom to the top to kind of help keep in an orientation of where what wires I'm working with, so I don't get confused if I've placed the wire or not. So this ore, it's not a straight line, so we'll just go forward a little bit to the right. Ooh, it's not straight. Perfect. Okay, that's the ore gate. Next, we have this XOR. Oh, that XOR hasn't been plugged in. Or sorry, where am I looking? So let's do this NAND gate. So let's do this NOT gate next. This NOT gate goes straight into the NAND, and it goes up to this OR. So let's do that OR first. That is the right side of this OR. We'll go straight to the top of this wire. Let's see, where do we need to end up? We need to end up next to this right here. So let's place it down a second time so we don't have a floating wire. And maybe about there. We go over both these wires. And we'll end up right here. We'll just plug this one straight into here, if it lets me. There we go. And then we'll plug in the NOT gate, or signal inverter, whatever you want to call it. Perfect. As you can see, that one turned on right here because we're working with a signal inverter, so that one kind of just stays on until the output is positive. Let's see. So let's confirm that one. The NOT is plugged into the NAND, and it is plugged into the right side of this OR. Perfect. Next, let's see what one we want to do next. So coming off of that NAND gate, that one's kind of closest to the up pattern that I'm trying to follow. So this NAND goes straight into an and the left side of an XOR. That AND looks kind of easy to do, it'll just be a straight path, so let's do this XOR first. This is our output, this one is the input from that, so there. I don't like going directly straight over wires because then in the future, if you're ever trying to troubleshoot why something's not working, you'll run into issues like, what wire is what wire? It's never fun. So we'll go straight this way. You don't want these being too close where they're powering each other. Just if you're ever having issues with it not working correctly, double check that you didn't accidentally put one output next to another one. They kind of works towards where the wire is facing. So the only one that might really affect it is the one going this way might be able to get that one. This one wouldn't be able to affect this one because it's facing that way, if that makes sense. So we still need to attach the AND gate. So from this NAND, we're going to go straight. Camera sensitivity is kind of high. This way. Let's confirm. So we're going to the third AND gate. The right side of the third AND gate, that would be this one. So keep going straight. Oops, too close. Perfect, let's confirm that. So this NAND gate goes left to the left side of the XOR, perfect. And the right side of the third AND, perfect. So what one should we work on next? Let's work on, let's do this XOR right here. This XOR is also just another straight line. Oops. Perfect. All right, that one's done, that NAND's done. What about this OR? Let's work on that OR gate. So the OR gate at the top here is the one we'll work on. This one attaches to 3. We got the first AND gate at the top, the bottom of the second AND gate. That one's kind of easy to do. We'll just attach these two together so they become kind of just one input. Attach this guy. It's kind of a hard one to do. Being a little laggy here. this one can go straight down to there. And then, so that's 2 of them. And now we just need the top AND gate, or sorry, the 4th AND gate, the bottom one. So let's get another wire for that. So actually, the 4th one says the bottom one. So just like we used this trick earlier, that goes over to the side. We'll do that same thing up here. Up and over, make sure it connects to all those. Perfect. So let's confirm it. This OR gate goes to the bottom AND gate at the top, or sorry, the first AND gate at the top, the second AND gate at the bottom, and then the 4th AND gate at the bottom. Perfect. Next, let's work on this XOR gate up here. This one looks a little bit complicated, but we'll work out that. So first, wants to connect to the left side of this OR gate right here. So OR gate here also wants to connect to the left side of the 3rd AND gate. So let's connect those ones first. We'll connect this guy. I don't like wires going on top of each other, so it's kind of the pathway I'm taking. So this one can plug into there. Perfect. And then, let's see, so this OR gate and that AND gate are now attached. Now we need this OR and this NAND attached. So let's try attaching those together. So the bottom of this OR and the left side of this NAND. That should be kind of simple. Something a little bit like that. Perfect. And then we can just attach that straight down. Or actually, we need to attach it to this guy over here. Yeah, let's see. We'll take this one straight down. And then we'll go left over all of our wires that we've placed so far. And this one needs to attach. How does it want to do it? We'll do that. Perfect. And we do kind of have to place the wires on top of each other this time just so we can connect the output of the XOR to all the inputs that we've just connected. For this one, we'll just take it straight over it. Do some zigzagging to connect this. Oops. Fantastic. So let's confirm. This one is connected to the top OR, or the bottom of this OR gate, and the top of this NAND gate. Perfect. And then the left side of this OR gate right here, and the 4th AND gate, it needs to be, oh, let me confirm that. Sorry, the 3rd AND gate, it needs to be the left one. Fantastic. Looks like all the right ones are hooked up. All right. What is next? So, awesome, awesome. This OR gate is hooked up. Is this OR gate hooked up? This OR gate is not hooked up. This one is. Okay, so we'll do this OR gate next. Kind of fell out of orientation of how I was following my own instructions, but that's all right. We humans make mistakes. So the left side of this OR gate and the left side of this AND gate. So this OR gate. We already have this wire here, so it kind of obstructs us taking it on top of that. So this time, we'll do it a little bit differently. Actually, it should be fine since we already had to use 2 wires. We'll just connect them both up. When you're placing wires so close like this, it never has a good pathway to follow. Perfect. Awesome. Then we just need to connect that OR gate to the 2nd AND gate. So this one is going to go straight across to the 2nd AND gate at the top. So boom, boom. All right, make sure these aren't touching anyway? I don't think so. This is getting its powered because it's an OR gate, so that's why I just turned on. This one goes to the left side of this OR gate, fantastic, and the left side of this AND gate, awesome. Okay. So what is left? We still have the input needed for here. Oh, this whole time I've been forgetting about this XOR. Lovely. So we'll do that one next. We need this OR gate and this XOR gate to attach. So it's kind of the, we'll do the same thing that we did here, but on the floor. So we'll do a little bit of that. More wires. And so those two ones attach, and then they go to this XOR, and that XOR also needs to go to that OR. So let's do that OR. So it goes all the way up here. Oh, almost good placement. Here we go, fantastic. And these guys over here. There we go. They can sneak up right in between all these wires. Uh-oh. Sorry. Got to keep my placement orientation. Let's see. So there. Straight down. Let's confirm that one. So XOR goes to that OR, top of there, perfect. And the bottom of these two, awesome. What else are we missing? So we still need the output of this OR gate right here. So let's do that one next. That one only has two outputs. One is the AND gates, and the other one is actually the output of the one of our main outputs that we go into the 7-segment display. Awesome. Just make sure that's still working. So this OR gate needs to go to the last output, or the last input we have for this AND gate. So we're going to go down over all of our magnificent piles of wires. Fantastic. Oh, almost. Perfect. And then this will be one of our 7 outputs. So we will just we'll just go straight with it. Give it a little bit more room. All right, just confirm that we don't have any empty inputs missing out here. We do. We have this one. This one. Oh, we missed this one at the beginning. Or I did. My apologies. Good job if you caught that. So let's see. This one right here needs to plug into here. If I did it a little bit better, that right here would be actually be a little bit lower, but just so it doesn't mess you guys up at all, you don't have to replace all your wiring. I'm just going to sneak this guy up there through the side here. Yeah. You don't want any issues with that side over there, so take it on top. Actually, you can also go back. So you can try connecting it there, or you can just try connecting it straight to the lever. Either way, it'll work fine. Alright, just confirm it connects there. Perfect. Okay, so I'll make sure we have no inputs. We're about to do these ones right here, so don't worry about that. Perfect. 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 Alright, so that's the way I like to connect my 2 NAND gates. So you got this NAND gate and this NAND gate. They actually don't work perfectly with them just next to each other like this. You actually have to connect these 2 wires. There's 2 ways to do it. You can sneak down here and just place them hidden under there if you get the good placement. How I like to do it is you can do it on either side. You can either do it on this one or you can do it on this one, but I'll just make sure it's touching that one. I go up the hill to the side and then back down the hill. Perfect. And we'll do one more. Perfect, perfect. Come on. All right, I gotta place it higher, it seems. Okay, perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. As you can see right now, the first 6 lights are actually turned on. So this right here would actually display as 0. So as long as you have these lights turned on, you kind of know you're at a good stage where it's working so far, but we'll do more testing when we plug it into the 7-segment display. All right, and for the wiring of the actual display, we're going to need we'll start off with this one over here. So how this works in binary, I'm going to explain binary at the end of this video, so people who want to be more knowledgeable on how this works, you can actually watch the end of this video and I'll teach you a little bit more about it. But just a sneak peek of what to learn. This right here will be, of the 7-segment display, each one has a letter attached to it, so you kind of know which section you're working with. This top one's A, this one's B, next one's C, D, E, F, and then the middle one will actually be G. It just, whoever invented this kind of went with that on how to explain it to other people, and it's always worked well with me. So first we're going to attach A. A will go to our last output, so let's see, go straight into here. B will be next. You can do these wires any orientation you want on connecting them. Like you could use the bottom of this to connect. You can use the top of it connect. You can blueprint glitch. Like let's say you put this on a wall. You can blueprint glitch the wall and actually just place the wires on the back so it doesn't look like any wires are attached to it. But for now, you're definitely going to be able to see the wires. So this one will be B. Next we'll do C. Ooh. It is never fun when it's that close. Let's try again. It's so close I feel like I can make it work. Oops. Maybe it's a little bit too close. Go a little bit further. Ooh, wrong button. Oh, come on. That should be close enough to activate it. Yep, okay, perfect. Let's see. We made a backwards C for C. Alright, next we're working with letter D. Since all these wires, I don't really need to make them bounce up and down just to go over these wires. You might want to start leaving a little bit more room, actually. I think I'm placing these wires a little bit too spaced out, or we're going to run into issues when we need to place the wire for the last one. So we'll go straight into here. I'm going to have to make a curved line, but that's okay. It's not too noticeable. All right, we don't go with the middle one. That's the last one. Go with this one. Okay, looks like we run out of room with that wire about there. Perfect. So now we have a 0, but we still need to hook up the last wire. I think we're going to run out of wire space with this one also, so just get the most out of it. All right, that one's not powered on yet because 0 is displayed with only 6 of the 7 segments. But we can do some testing to see if it's all working. All right, now to do some testing. So we are, I can't remember, I think 1 is on the right side. Yep. Okay, so to test 1, we'll start on this side. So 1 in binary is 0, 0, 0, 1. 2 in binary would be the second lever. Fantastic. To make 3 in binary, you actually add the 2 digits, so 2 plus 1 would be 3. So if we look upside down, we get digit 3, fantastic. And then it moves over. So to get 4, you would just activate this one right here. Fantastic, 4. And then 4 plus 1 would be the 5. Awesome. And then 4 plus 2 is where we're looking for 6. Look at that. And then 7, 6 plus 1, 7, awesome. And to get 8, we will just light the last one. Fantastic. And then 8 plus 1, you're looking at a 9. Looks like we did it all correctly. So I'm going to try and explain what binary is and how it works in our system here. So we're actually making a binary to decimal converter. That's what this logic system is pretty much called. So we're taking binary inputs and turning it to decimal outputs. A single decimal, so like the ones place, can have the numbers between 0 through 9. With binary, it can only have 2. It can only be 0 or 1. It only has 2 identities. Decimal has 10 technically, 0 being 1, 9 being the 10th one. With binary, we can only do 1s and 0s, so how do we show, let's say, a number 5 in binary with only 1s and 0s? So to get a 1, we'll start off with 1. Only the first one is activated. So now this one right here has used all of its abilities to change what it can do, so on and off. So how we would display a 2 is actually the second position. So this one would be 2 in binary. So binary, this would be 0, 0, 1, 0. And the 1 in binary would just be 0, 0, 0, 1. And to display a 3 in binary, you actually just use them together. So how it works in binary is this right here is the 1's place, this right here is the 2's place, and it just increments doubling that each time. So this one would be 4, this one would be 8, and the next one would be 16, and so forth, going on and on. That's because, like, let's say number 8, technically I can get all the way up to number 7 before I run out of opportunities to flip these levers. So that's why the next position is the number that we can't get to. So like, let's say to get to 5, we have the 4's position right here, because 1, 2, 4, 8. So it would be 4 plus 1. So we're looking at a 5. Same thing, like let's say 7. So this one right here is 8. So the best way to get to 7 would be to activate all of them. Because 4 plus 2, 5, 6, plus 1, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then get to 9, you would flip just the last one on. So this one right here, or sorry, my apologies. To get to 8, you would flip the last one on, and then get to 9, you would just add the first position. So 8 plus 1, you get 9. It's kind of the best way, excuse me. It's the best way I'm able to explain binary. If you ever forget what the number you want to display is, you can always look up what is number 6 in binary, and then you kind of just remember this right here is the higher number, this one right here is the lower number. And that's about it for this video. Check the description. There might be some details in there to help you on explaining further. This is my first tutorial I've ever made in Lumber Tycoon 2, so if you'd like to see more, maybe we could expand onto how to add 2 of these together so you can go all the way up to digit 99. Display the number 10, whatever you like. Just leave me a like, leave me a comment stating if it was a good tutorial, maybe it was too long, maybe it was too short, maybe I spoke too fast. Just give me some comments on how I can improve further videos upcoming, maybe some ideas that you'd like to see. And thank you.